All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am joined by Apathy.
What do you mean, welcome back? This is our maiden voyage.
Well, this is the pilot of. We're gonna do some cool stuff, dude.
This is gonna be amazing. We're gonna do amazing stuff. It's not just gonna be cool. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and so we're kind of throwing around some thoughts. We're gonna get into that though.
Yeah.
Like we got time for that. Like all the ideas we have around doing a podcast that maybe is not weekly, but maybe bi-weekly or somewhere in that range.
Yep.
We've got some ideas flowing.
Yeah, we're going to do some stuff. We're going to do some a lot of funny stuff. You're going to get a lot of information. You're going to get. First of all, let me say that Byron right now.
I'm grabbing my water, and regardless of what you say about it, this is the best stuff on earth.
I think Byron's a psychopath because he's drinking sparkling seltzer water that has no flavor in it. You're either from Europe, which is okay, or you're a psychopath with bodies in your trunk.
So the deal with the sparkling water is I don't drink soda now because I need the carbonation, right? But the flavored stuff is terrible. You're on like some fake lime, fake grapefruit, ruby
fake.
red.
This is 100% natural flavors.
Yes,
right there.
natural flavors, whatever that means. Yeah. Would you call me a psychopath?
Bodies in the trunk, guaranteed. If I see that, if I was a chick and I was on a date and I saw somebody whip out a Canada Dry original sparkling seltzer water with no flavor, I'd be like, I gotta go to the bathroom and take off for my life.
So, dude, besides the water, how many people here you think listening know who you are? Like a ton? I would imagine. Way more than probably me.
I think a good amount of people know who I am.
Way more than they know who I am. So, but for those of the people that don't, what's like your little quick origin story? I know it's not quick; it's super long because you've been in the music industry for so long. When did you break out? Like 2000, like 2001? Is that when you like?
When I first started putting out independent stuff was like 1997, 1998, and then I got signed to Atlantic Records around 2003 after years of doing independent hip hop. I was signed to Atlantic Records. They wanted me to do stuff that I didn't want to do.
In the 90s? Atlantic?
I got signed in 2003.
2003, okay.
Yeah, and that was a fun time, dude, because there was Jay-Z Blueprint 2 was out, Kanye West was just coming out, 50 Cent and G-Unit were blowing up, and, who's the Cameron and them, with Dipset and all that. So it was a fun time to be doing music, but what they wanted me to do, what Atlantic wanted me to do, is do like frat boy college rap, but I didn't go to college. They wanted me to ride on skateboards and get Diesel to take my shirt off and all these funny industry things that you always hear about that are ridiculous, but I wouldn't do any of that.
Why'd they want to put you in that mold, do you think?
So they could sell records because it made sense to them. They were looking for the next Eminem. They were looking for something that they could.
Did you hear that like a lot? Like when? Because Eminem like popped in like what, late 90s?
Yeah, Eminem popped definitely late 90s. Like 98, he started dropping his first stuff. And
people are like, oh, Ap, you're white, so like you need to play off it, that coattails.
That's what the industry does, though. They're like, oh, well, this succeeded, so now we need to find the next this.
I'm not going to sit here and claim like I know the music industry like you do, but isn't Eminem like one of the like greatest lyricists, or is that just not true?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, without a question. The thing is though, my personal opinion, I don't listen to Eminem because I don't like his albums, his songs. Mm-hmm. But when I hear him do freestyles or when I hear him do verses, I'm like, this guy is technically easily one of the best rappers of all time. And he's a pioneer. Like he's like an alien the way his brain thinks, how he pieces words together.
So dude, The Source just wrote an article on you like this year, like this spring, a couple articles, right?
The Source?
Yeah.
The Source did some stuff about me on their website thing where they reviewed the albums.
They did something, right?
They've been reviewing me for years.
Yeah. So my point is, you go all the way back to the 90s, all the way up until now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
late
you've
90s.
Consistently been like, I'm gonna do my thing, like regardless of
regardless of major label, we stayed doing underground stuff and we stayed successful with the underground stuff and kept our ear to the ground with all that.
Now, when they were trying to pigeonhole, do you think you left money on the table because of that?
Maybe. I always think about that. I try not to like lose sleep over it, but I'm like,
don't lose sleep over it.
What if I just got Diesel back then and took my shirt off and skateboarded around and do some corny song about beer pong in college? Maybe I would have popped off. But then at the end of the day, I would have got left there. You know what I'm saying? I would have done that one song and I wouldn't be me anymore. That
one moment in time, yeah.
You know
staying true to yourself is always like the winning formula.
Exactly. And it's crazy too because, I had raps about this or that, seeing drug stuff and seeing hustling and all that and this or that. And my A&R, who's a very successful A&R, Mike Karen, he was responsible for Trick Daddy, Trina, Twista, Trey Songz, all these guys. He was like, "Oh, Ap, you can't." He literally sounded like Napoleon Dynamite. He was like, "Oh, Ap, you can't rap about those things. They're not realistic. You should rap about college and stuff." Meanwhile, I grew up around drug hood shit. And I didn't graduate high school, so how the fuck am I gonna rap about college?
Yeah,
and all that. So it's a funny thing that they try to get you to do.
You can rap about going to college parties. I'm sure you went to some parties.
Oh, I hung out at UConn constantly. I lived there vicariously through other people for like 10 years.
Yeah, I went to UConn and started going there when I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh, wow, that's funny. Hanging out there, right?
Sophomore
Spring
year.
weekend and everything.
Because my older friends started going there. So sophomore, junior year, senior year, I would just go there. Like definitely spring weekend.
You know what's funny? Sure. You talking about Eminem. The reason why I got signed to Atlantic was Jimmy Iovine of Interscope Records originally flew us out to L.A. and he like put us up in the on the Grafton on Sunset, or wait, yeah, it was one of those hotels, one of those super crazy, the Standard on Sunset. And they gave us a SUV, and they gave us company cell phones because we didn't have them back then, and all this stuff, and it was really cool. But Jimmy was so busy at Eminem's Cleaning Out My Closet video that he couldn't meet with us. So we ended up taking a meeting with Atlantic Records, which is why they signed me at that point.
In 2003.
Yep.
And then from that point, that's when you started doing your dropping your solo albums. Your first was in 03?
Well, no, my solo stuff, I mean, I started dropping singles. Back then, independent singles were working so well. We would do one independent vinyl, which had one song on side A and one song on side B.
Okay.
We would make thousands and thousands as kids.
Just dropping one song.
Yeah, just dropping one song, and they were popping. They were so popular back then, these independent vinyls. And it wasn't, my first solo album didn't drop until 2006, which was a long time after I started.
So 06 was your first solo album.
05, 06, yeah, Eastern Philosophy.
And you've done what, 6 since then? 7?
Yeah, I think 6 or 7. I'd have to sit here and count them all.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done tons of stuff. We've released all types of material. We released a whole bunch of like projects. The thing is that the way that me and my partner Self-Titled view music is like how Native Americans view buffaloes. We use every single thing that we do to benefit us. If we record 500 songs, a lot of other people would skim that down to a certain amount of songs. We'll use every song. I'll put out a project called Apathy, the demo files from 1995 to 1998. And we'll put it out there. We'll release it. So we use everything. Stuff
you've never released from like way back.
I still have some. I released most of it from when I was a kid, my demo stuff, because I put out one of those projects. But we don't waste anything. We monetize everything. We don't waste anything. We use it all.
And the last 2 years you dropped what, 2 albums in the last year and a half?
Yeah, 2 albums, 2 projects. I have like Tupac work ethic, man. I just constantly am writing.
Well, why did you ramp it up like recently? Is it just easier to distribute right now?
No, not really easier to distribute. It's just that I was sitting on so much stuff, I actually had to slow down. Yep. Like I had to chill out with making new music because I was putting out so much stuff. And prior to my kids being born, I went on this huge influx of making stuff, making music, being at the studio all night long and just song after song after song. And I'm like, that's going to be for this album, and the cover's going to look like this, and this is going to be for this album, and the theme of that is going to be this. So what's made you like go a little bit heavier right now? Like, you 2 albums. If you've done 6 since 03, 2 in the last couple of years is like you're sitting. I've done more than that too, because I've done group projects and all types of stuff, like tons of stuff. Yep. Got it.
Who's the most interesting person you've ever worked with in the industry?
Oh my God, that's hard. Snoop
as an artist.
Snoop is pretty interesting. DJ Premier. A lot of these guys are interesting too because they're legends to me, who I grew up listening to and idolizing. And then working with them is crazy, and sometimes it gives you gray hairs, and sometimes it's awesome, and sometimes it's perfect. Working with Cypress Hill, Be Real's the best guy ever. When I first met him, he was a jerk to me. I met him when I got signed.
A good question. Who's the biggest dick in the industry?
Man, that's tough to say.
Right?
100%.
You don't have to.
No, I will. 100% Kanye West.
Really?
Biggest dick I ever met. And this was when he was brand new. This was before he had his first album out.
Before he was dating Kim Kardashian?
Way before he was dating Kim.
Married,
nobody even heard of Kim Kardashian at this point. Like Paris and Nikki Hilton were popping at that time.
She didn't drop that video yet.
Nah. I think Ray J was probably still in junior high at that point. I don't know. But
so he was the same way he is now. I don't know. But the persona that you see on like online.
That's not a shtick. That's Kanye all day. That's him. Yeah, my A&R at the time at Atlantic Records brought me to a session where Kanye had produced the song Twista, Overnight Celebrity, which is a huge, huge hit, platinum hit. And we went there to listen to it for the first time after Kanye produced his thing. And I'm like, that's cool, that's cool. So we're listening, and Mike Karen is like, this is my new artist. You got to hear him rap. He's like, Ap, rap for him. I get like 5.5, 6 bars into it, and I'm like, ba-da-da-da-da. And he's like, yo, check this out. Da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da. And he raps over me. And I'm like, my eyes are wide and my jaw dropped, and I'm like, I'm going to punch him in the face. And I was furious, and my A&R looked at me and shook his head like, no, don't do that. And, bro, he's the worst. He's the worst guy.
He was trying to grab that attention.
He just didn't care. He was just completely disrespectful, didn't make eye contact with me. I'm rapping.
He T-Swifted you.
Yeah, he totally, I'm the original T-Swift.
You're the original T-Swift, dude. That's unbelievable.
Exactly. So he's the worst. He was definitely the worst, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's been guys who have and the crazy thing is, some of the guys who are so big you think they're gonna be assholes are fucking cool. Jay-Z is the coolest guy ever.
Really?
Ever. Jay-Z is the man. Jay-Z is so fucking cool
So
and down to earth.
I saw a thing today. Puma shoes is making this huge comeback in the NBA. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that. I did not know that.
Did you see
I
that?
would have never guessed
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they're making this huge comeback off of the back of Jay-Z.
How? Because he wore Pumas recently or something?
They've got some business relationship going, right? And they're going to do something there. They signed 4 of the top 15 draft picks, the top 2 draft picks.
Puma
this year.
did.
Puma did.
This is crazy because you know that it's going to be a thing all over again. Puma.
Oh, 100% now. Look it up. You'll see it.
Okay.
Like, I wish we were doing that in here, like where we could look stuff up.
Have little laptops in front of us.
We're going to get there at some point.
Maiden voyage.
Dude, yeah, they're sitting in front of this private jet. They've got, and so he's obviously tied in with Puma big time now because on the wing they've got 444, which is his new album.
Yeah.
And then his initials of his name.
Yep.
And something else, and he's standing there in front of the photo. But yeah, they're talking about Puma like making a huge
Jay-Z named
comeback.
president of Puma basketball.
There you go.
Wow.
He's the prez.
That's crazy.
He knows how to turn some money over.
Jay-Z joins Puma basketball in high-profile role.
So he was one of the cool guys. Snoop was one of the cool guys.
Snoop's the best.
Yeah.
Man. Snoop is the best guy. He's such a sweetheart.
Is that where, because you've done songs in the past with Exhibit, is that how you guys got linked up? Like, weren't they connected?
I met Exhibit through my old manager, who's a very close friend of mine, this guy Ryan Tohill, who does a lot of big industry stuff. But I think I met Exhibit through, I can't even remember how I met Exhibit.
Yeah.
Because he used to hang out with Be Real from Cypress Hill all the time, who I'm close with too. And I forgot how I met Exhibit, but yeah, just hanging out in L.A., man. Hanging out with L.A. is super weird because you just meet all these people.
That's where I was going to go with this. Like, it's interesting how you've built this career over a 20-plus year span.
Yeah.
But staying native to Connecticut. Like, that's super difficult. Like, is there any other rappers out of Connecticut that are, like, worth anything?
Oh, yeah, Chris Webby. Chris Webby's popping. Annoyed is on the come up. Jid on the track is popping.
My point is, if you're in L.A., the advantage is the connections.
Yeah, even Webby, Chris Webby, who's probably the most popular guy out there as far as numbers and everything. Yeah, currently.
Super popular.
Yep, super duper popular. Even he went out to L.A. Chris, shout out to Webby. He's like my little brother.
He's living out there.
He went out there. He's back in Connecticut now.
He is.
But he was like, I don't even
want
to put him on blast, but he was literally dating like Holly Berry and all messing around, all doing all this stuff, which is out in the news. So Webby can't be mad at me for that.
Where in Connecticut?
I think he's over by, I want to say the Waterbury area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somewhere over by there.
Yeah.
But yeah, greatest kid ever. He was at my wedding.
Really?
Yeah. That's my little bro.
Do you think it's been a disadvantage for you to like have your home base in this part of the world?
I never stay stagnant. Here's the difference between younger artists who want to do it. They always want to open up for somebody. Well, you have to go to LA. You have to go get out of your comfort zone. You got to get the fuck out of Connecticut. Get out of this crabs in the barrel shit. No matter where you live, if you're in Minnesota and you're having difficulties in Minnesota, get the fuck out of there. Go do something. But why
can't you pull it off from Minnesota? Because now, my point is, if you're really good, couldn't you pull it off from Minnesota today?
Sure, with the internet.
Because you could go straight to SoundCloud or straight to wherever and just upload?
Yeah, you can do it. You can technically do it and put your song out there and your song gets big. But the networking that you get, the value of the networking and being face-to-face and relationships and
you almost have to go viral. Like, you have to be so good to go viral if you're just doing it from your basement in Minnesota.
Or lucky.
Or lucky.
Yeah.
But if you're, if you're good, the luck's going to gonna kind of.
I don't think those things two run together.
No, here's the thing. Well, here's what I think.
Yeah.
And then you can give me your opinion. I think that if you're working extremely hard, you're gonna naturally get luckier because you're putting in the time, you're putting in all the effort, you're putting shit out there all the time. And so maybe you're getting lucky, but you're actually taking all the action. Going back to like when we were talking about like maybe if we're going to do like a weekly podcast, like if it becomes every 3 weeks, we're going to get lucky
lose the momentum.
Far less often if we do it every week. We're going to get really lucky if we're doing it every, it's just more work.
Yeah, momentum and exposure and being out there,
Yeah. But you think people just get lucky too?
For sure, for fucking certain. Like look at like the Soulja Boys of the world and all these guys where a song just popped off for them. What's that?
Was that No Limit?
I don't know. I don't know what Soulja Boy did.
Soulja Boys?
Look at those boys. There's these guys who just popped
No, that was Soulja Slim.
Soulja Slim. Yeah, you're right. That was No Limit.
I know my No Limit game.
Yeah, Soulja Boy was after. Soulja Boy was
one of the best marketers of all freaking time. Master P.
Master P, for sure.
Unbelievable. So when we always talk about, we've had this conversation so much, like more. I am a believer of more content, the better.
Yeah,
right? Like just push content out there like daily, like as much as you can possibly handle.
Yep.
Master P had that licked in 2000.
Yeah, man.
He was dropping an album. He had that whole crew. Like he was bringing in tons of people. He had probably 30, 40 different artists.
That's why he's got like athlete money. You know what I mean? He doesn't have rapper money. He's got like athlete money.
They were dropping an album every single week. I would stand at the vending machine in my high school. And when people would come up and get like their, they put $1.75 for a bag of M&Ms or whatever, be like, yo, can you leave the quarter? Can you leave the quarter? Can you leave the quarter? And I just fill up my pocket with quarters. And then at Strawberries on West Main, I would go and I'd pick up the new No Limit album.
I heard this about you. I heard that you were a hustler in high school.
100%.
Yeah, that's dope. That's really
I made sure I had
Strawberries, first of all. Hey, people don't know out there. If you're listening, Strawberries is our local
thing?
That's for sure a local thing. Yeah. Strawberries is where we bought our tapes and CDs and all that stuff. So you guys probably have Sam Goodies and Tower and all those and Amoeba in LA.
Tower,
I forget the other names that people have. I'm not sure if they.
What was the one in the mall that like the Crystal Mall?
Oh, there was those. What was it? Tape World. Is that what one was?
No.
Was it the
Tower?
Wall? The Wall. There was the Wall. What was the one in the mall that was upstairs? You're right, in Crystal Mall.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't remember what that is. I know a million people are going to tell me.
They had a franchisee type name, I believe. But yeah, I was I would make sure my lunch period was during. Like I would make sure I had my study hall during lunch periods. There's 3 different lunches in my high school. So if you had study hall, you could just basically hang out in the cafeteria all 3 lunches.
Yeah.
The only time people are spending money in high school is
during that time
because they're pulling the money out of their pocket.
Yeah.
So I just go, dude. I was kind of like a bum hustle mode. Like, dude, you want to donate to the Byron Lazine Fund today? Like, you got a quarter? What are you gonna do with that quarter? Like, what are you gonna buy with that quarter? Come on, throw me the quarter. Come on. And I would go around. I have a big bag of change, and then I go to my locker. And I put it all in my backpack. You know what's
funny is we have different stories because I used to just steal the money out of my mother's quarter.
You could do that too.
I got this song that I'm dropping called Tape Money, and I talk about stealing.
At least I was begging for it. Before that, I was selling Rice Krispie treats in school.
Me and my buddy Dwayne used to sell the what are those, like the Warheads and all those? You know what I'm talking about? We bring candies to school.
Oh, that's a good play.
For 50 cents, 25-cent ones for 50 cents.
Yeah.
Well,
because where else are you going to get a Warhead when you're sitting in school?
Exactly.
Supply and demand.
A whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Like you're at Disney World, this beautiful sparkling water is going to cost me $8. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I'm going with the unflavored for the $8. You can get your fake lime for $9.
Natural flavors.
Absolutely. So what's next on the Apathy agenda?
So
whatever it is.
So what I'm doing now is, and the reason why I'm sitting here with you. And what I'm getting into now is I'm getting into real estate, which fascinates me and which is amazing. And the reason why I'm doing this is because music does what it does, and people are streaming now, people are downloading, people come to shows and stuff like that. But when I grew up, my parents were teenagers when they had me. And like most people, I want to say a majority of people, I wasn't taught financial responsibility.
Yeah.
I wasn't taught how to handle my money or use my money as a tool. And now that I'm almost 40 years old, I'm so angry that I lived a whole life of just blowing all the cash that I made and not investing it properly.
Did you feel like you had to live a certain lifestyle because you were in the music industry and you were like hanging out in LA and like that kind of shit? Like, did you feel like
not crazy, not like keeping up with the Joneses like most people, because
Not like buying like, Maseratis that you couldn't afford or something like that. But
way.
Like, did you just like kind of like do the thing where you're like, oh, let me take my boys along for this ride and let's go get a table at whatever.
Oh yeah, I would buy dinners and stuff like that.
The table's on me. Like we're gonna do bottles, whatever it is, right?
Yep, yeah, absolutely. I would buy drinks. I would buy dinners and all that stuff. But I would just blow through my money on stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And I was never taught to have my money be a tool and work for me. And that's how most people are nowadays.
Yeah.
That's how a majority of people are. People are just spending their money. They work hard all week.
Especially right now in 2018.
Yeah, people just blow.
People don't see that what's coming in 2 years is there's going to be far less money in the system.
Why? What do you mean? Elaborate on that.
Far less money in the system?
Yeah.
Like the economy is going to take another downturn.
That's what everybody's saying that we're due for another recession.
It's just 100%. Like
we're overdue for a recession.
We're overdue for a recession. So what we've been doing here is just keep investing in the future, right? Like we could have made more money over the last 8 months, right? Like we're 7 months. What were we? 7 months into 2018. We could have made more money over the last 7 months, but we keep investing in like talented people.
Yeah.
Better operating systems because we know the day is coming and we want to be super ready for it.
I think the problem is with the generation of guys who are hip hop fans who grew up from either the time period I am or even now. All of us like to have flashy shit. All of us like to spend money. People are spending their money on weed or video games or doing whatever they're going to do. And nobody talks about how to generate more money. We kind of just accept the role that we're just going to bend over and take it and pay our taxes and try to make more money. But no one thinks about financial responsibility. I read this fucking book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
good
which
book.
blew my brain apart.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Talking about using money as a tool and things that everybody gets so upset and they're like, fuck the 1%ers. They should just give us their money. How about you fucking learn how to make money like them? Yeah,
that argument's ridiculous because I'll always say it. Like the facts are, if you took all the money away from the 1%, divided it up evenly, they're all going to get it back.
Yeah.
Because to your point, people are going to spend money. Like just because all of a sudden someone hands you $1 million doesn't make you smart.
If those same people complaining about capitalism and 1%ers and all that stuff, if most of them, if I gave them $5 million tomorrow, it's going to be gone. Like,
that's the point.
So fast.
Yeah.
You need to learn financial responsibility. So that's what I'm doing. I want to do something different. I want to go into real estate. I want to teach my kids this. And I want my kids to learn good habits.
Dave Ramsey, by the way, is not going to help you even if you got $5 million in your hand. Like, his whole game is like, do you know who I'm talking about, Dave Ramsey?
I think so.
He's like a big investment guy.
Has he got glasses and he's bald?
He could be. I actually don't even know.
He writes books?
He has a radio show.
Okay.
And he does write books. Yeah. He writes a lot of books. So on his radio show, people will call in and they're in this Dave Ramsey program. His big thing is pay off your debt and then pay off your mortgage.
Mm-hmm. And that's it?
That's his big thesis. Pay down debt, pay off your mortgage, save, retirement, save. But his whole.
I got books by this guy.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, I got books by this guy.
You got books by this guy.
I have 2 books by this guy. I haven't read them.
Throw them in the fireplace.
Throw them in the garbage.
Here's why. Because here's the deal. His whole thing is like make the money and keep saving it for when you're 65, 70 so that you can enjoy retirement. Dude, if life's about enjoying myself when I'm 70, I'm not super interested, right?
Yeah, fuck that.
Like so what you're talking about is produce an income and then start producing enough. Step one in my Dave Ramsey world, which is completely different. Step one is become so valuable at your job that you can extract as much money as you can so that your salary goes up, right? Or whatever it is. If you're selling fucking keychains, become so good at selling keychains that that stream of income is as high as it can get.
Yeah.
Have your living expenses set and then start taking the rest of the money and putting it into a place that can produce more income for you while you're living your life, which also is your retirement, right? If you have a way to actually capture passive income, and for like me, it's going to be investing in multifamily real estate, big multifamily real estate that's going to pay, that my money is going to pay me on a monthly basis.
So listen,
when I'm 40, 50, and 60, so that I'm enjoying life And then, oh, by the way, when I'm 65, I'm also set, but I'm not tapping in when I'm 65.
Hold
and I
that
never
thought.
went on vacation when
Hold
I was
that thought.
50.
Let's rewind back, though, because what we're saying sounds like fucking taking a rocket to the moon to some of these kids, okay? Some of these people who are listening to us, that is even too advanced. Because here's what we need to do. And
you got to get your paper right first.
Yeah, for all you guys listening out there, this is what we're going to do. Moving forward with this show, we're going to take all you guys out there who want to do better, who feel like you have no chance, your credit's going to be shit forever, you just got to go through the rolls. Fuck that. Don't lay over. Don't roll over like that. We are going to show you how to really do this shit. And we're going to try to show you how to do this shit. So let's take
while we're taking the journey ourselves, by the way.
Yeah, we're learning this as we go along.
Well, meaning step one is like jack up the income. Like, and people are always like, well, you should save more. No, you should figure out how to make more.
See, this
becomes
is the
so valuable that you're going to make more money. Like, so if that's a 5-year step, one is like, okay, for the next 5 years, I've got to become so valuable to the current company that I'm in, so goddamn valuable that one, my job isn't like in date, right? Like, take care of that first. But then that I'm going to be adding so much value to the company where the company's making more money and my salary is going to reflect that, right? So get the income high.
I think that.
And then start pushing it into that vehicle.
You know, I talked to a whole bunch of people and talking about the people who are like, you know what, I got a job at Dunkin' Donuts because that's what I can get right now. That's cool, but what your life mission should be every single day, no matter what, if you end up losing sleep over it or whatever, or you have to go out, you should be finding okay, you're starting at Dunkin' Donuts. You should be going to get a job where you're a server, where you can at least get tips and start to increase your money. You got to figure out a way to find a job that has more money. Maybe you're not qualified to do something crazy, but if I was at the point where I
mean, personally, if I was at Dunkin' Donuts, unless you aspire to be working at Dunkin' Donuts, if that's a goal and a dream and you enjoy it, do it.
Yeah.
But if it's not,
nobody's saying that shit, by the way.
You're better off if it's not something you enjoy. It's not something that aligns with your skill set of what you want to do for the rest of your life and what's going to make you happy. Working at Dunkin' Donuts and being dead broke is the same fucking thing.
So how do people get out of that shit?
How you get out of it is you figure out. Actually, stop trying to figure out like this big home run. Stop trying to be the next Mark Zuckerberg because you're not going to be.
Yeah.
He's a fucking alien, dude. Like, you're not going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, that's a one in a bazillion.
Yeah, he's a phenom. Yeah. So you're not going to be him, okay? And I know that's like, you want people to dream big, but let's face the realities. Like, all the people that are trying to like hit it big on some like, you know, social media platform or some app or whatever.
Yeah.
Most of them, 99.999%, are not getting anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your skill set? Are you great at music? Like, right? Like, you knew you were great at music. You loved it. You followed your passion. You made money. Now, you're debating in your head whether you spent the money appropriately or not, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you followed your passion, and it led you to more connections than anybody has, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's value right there. If you do what you love, which is super, like, people are like, well, I love money. Well, dude, you got to have a skill to get the money. Yeah. Somebody's going to give you the money. For what? What are they going to give you the money for? You better have something to back it up. So if it's a Dunkin' Donuts, fuck it. Rack up your credit card for the next 3 months, figure out what you love, and then go, and if it comes down to working for free for the company, the startup that's local to you, that's on that same path, go do that.
Yeah.
But if you like what you do, you're going to get a lot better a lot quicker, which means you're going to bring a lot more value to somebody by following your passion, right? Like, you know, if you're great at music, but yet you're waiting tables, to my point, you're not advancing your skills. All you're doing is you've put your career on pause.
Yeah.
For money, for dollars.
What do you recommend to guys though who are see, this is the problem that I have, is that when young guys come up to me and they say, Ap, I want to do this in the music industry, you know, I'll listen to their stuff, it'll be kind of average. I almost want to be like, dude, this isn't for you, man. Go do something else. Go be a fucking electrician.
You've got to be honest. Like, if someone comes to you and like, what do you think, dude?
Yeah.
I wouldn't snowball them. Like,
well, the other
like, here's the thing, and then maybe people can get better, but I mean, in rap, like, for instance, I would give them this analogy. It's the Gary Vee analogy. Like, okay, I love basketball. I can practice basketball myself. I could practice basketball all day long for the rest of my life. And I could have started when I was 2.
Yeah.
And I was never sniffing the NBA
Yeah,
or
yeah.
college.
Not even getting close.
Not even close. Like if I practiced every day since I was 2. So somebody in the music industry could practice their rap, whatever type of music they're into, every single day. And if they are not talented, it's not going to work out. Doesn't mean that they couldn't be a producer, maybe an agent, right?
Yeah, something else.
Are agents still making it in music?
You gotta have an artist who's really fucking popping to make money by doing.
It's a relationship thing.
Yeah, you gotta have an artist who's crazy. Like, I'm friends with this guy Chase Infinite, who is an independent.
Do you have an agent?
No, I don't. Well, we have booking agents who book shows for us. But I don't need a manager. Like, I don't have a day-to-day manager. But my buddy Chase Infinite did independent hip-hop, and he's very, very legendary in the independent hip-hop realm. But then he went into the management realm, and he took over A$AP Rocky and all the A$AP guys, and he's super successful with doing that. So he did a phenomenal thing, switching over from being an MC to doing the management role.
But so he's the manager.
I think.
So I feel like back in the day, and correct me if I'm wrong, like maybe a Snoop Dogg had a manager and an agent.
Yeah, booking
Is that
agents
correct?
for booking shows.
Agents.
Yeah, they got booking agents. Yeah, so
and your manager's just managing your whole deal, your brand, whatever.
Yeah, he's supposed to be
all the people trying to
your
get you to do shit,
all
sell
your
your
business
shit.
stuff. Yeah, all that stuff. Which a lot of the times, a lot of managers don't do shit, and they're not worth it, and they want to take a certain percentage of
what was the common percentage back in the day?
Anywhere from 10 to 20.
10. That's what I was going to guess. Yeah. 10 to 20.
Yeah, it depends on what they're doing. If they're generating that much more income for you and made you a star and did this for you, and they're giving you all their time and they're really killing it and they're bringing in stuff, maybe there's guys who make 20%. Mm-hmm. And another thing too, maybe if you're up and coming and it's the same thing as the real estate thing. If somebody joins a brokerage and they don't have any proven track record,
right,
then you're going to give them the appropriate.
A really low split.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So once your value increases, maybe that could be reconfigured.
Then the split works up.
Yeah. But at that point.
But that would be the advice. Like, okay, to be honest, you suck at music, but there may be. Now, the music industry is a little tougher, probably just to like go out there and adjust. Like if you want to be a musician and now you want to adjust in that industry and make money another way, might not be that easy, right?
Yep. It's a crazy thing. The music industry is just so different now. And the crazy thing about the music industry is it's changing. It used to be like every 10 to 5 years. Now it's changing like every 6, 7 months.
How many questions do you get a week? People are like, dude, I just want to pop off. I want to be the next big thing.
Constantly. And I don't even know what to say anymore, man. I tell kids that they should just go back to school.
Go back to school. That's terrible advice.
Yeah, man.
Why are you doing that?
Go learn a trade, man.
Come on, man.
Go be an electrician and make 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? But fuck this music shit.
I would agree that there's a need for that. Not enough young people are looking at that as a realistic thing.
Well, this is the thing I wanted to talk to you about too. I listened to something on a podcast recently.
You can't find an electrician right now.
Yeah, trades.
Just call up your local, wherever you are. If you're listening to this, call up your local electricians tomorrow, and literally try to get one of them at your house this week.
You're not going to be able to.
You're not going to find somebody.
The demand is crazy.
And that's electricians, plumbing,
like
all the stuff that like this young generation doesn't want to do.
Yep.
You're right. There's a huge opportunity there for people to grab 6 figures easily.
Yeah, 6 figures. If you motherfuckers out there want to make money and you want to sit here and you want to do all this shit and you want nice cars and you want a house, I'm sick of hearing people say dumb, empty shit like, well, I just want to be an entrepreneur and I just want to follow my dream. What the fuck does that mean? You don't have a plan in place. You don't have anything to do.
Well, most people don't. And so most people are like, okay, I'm going to start a business around what I love. They know what they love.
Yeah.
But then they're like, okay, I'm just going to do it on my own. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And then they realize like, to run a business,
we have to invest into yourself.
I need to invest. I need to take the risk financially. I need to have my insurance tight. I need to be hiring employees. I need to figure out.
Got to have an LLC or an S corp
or all that stuff. I need to have an accountant on board. Are they going to act as a CFO? Who's going to be my operations manager? Are we paying taxes? Are we doing it quarterly? Are we doing it weekly? Are we doing it monthly?
Welcome to the real shit, you entrepreneur wannabes.
Dude, like all that stuff. And then it's just like, fuck, I failed because of this. Because like nobody wanted to do this. And then the blame game starts happening.
Yep.
When they should have just found a company that's on the trajectory and fit in as like a number 5, right? And like, boom.
I just listened to this Joe Rogan podcast and he was on with that guy, Peter Schiff. I think that's his name, Peter Schiff. And
Was it
he's a
comedian?
capitalist.
He has a lot of comedians.
No, this guy's like a capitalist who went down to Occupy Wall Street and was educating kids about what capitalism really is.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, fuck the old school dream of finishing high school, going to college, and amassing this crazy debt that you have. He's saying to these kids, dude, fucking drop out of high school, go to a trade school, learn to be an electrician, learn to be a plumber, learn to be one of these things, and fucking cake off this shit.
Yeah.
Make this money. But you know what? It's not glamorous to most kids, so most people won't do it. Most people aren't about their business like that, I feel. They say they want to be, and they want to live. It's crazy because you see these young girls who want to live this Kardashian lifestyle and do all this shit, but it's not in the realms of reality.
To your point, if someone says to you, Ap, I just want to blow up and make a ton of money. That's great advice. It's like, well, what do you want to make money doing? I don't know. I just want to make a ton of money. Well, hey, maybe look at, to your point, starting a business around one of these trades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good.
Because you have to go where there's a need, right? Like if you say you're going to open up a local grocery store, okay, cool, good luck. But when Amazon's delivering everybody's groceries, you're fucking toast, right?
Yeah.
But these trades, they're not going away, dude. Like, it's
and
not going away.
They won't be destroyed with automation, which is another creepy thing that they're going to
Now when you get into somebody's house and it's like, oh, I've got to crawl through the attic and like it's very technical, like you know, that stuff is, a human being's going to be doing that for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Crawling around and running new, like all that stuff, you can't build an app on your phone to like update your electricity in your house.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you need a human being there. So, yeah, I think that's a huge opportunity, dude.
I think those are the things that people need to be focusing on and young people need to be focusing on to really...
But you don't see any content about that on Instagram where people are spending their time, or on Facebook of like, oh, here's the opportunity.
There's an open market for that right there.
Yeah.
For anybody listening out there, there's your open chance. If you want to be the guy on Instagram who's talking about how to be an electrician.
But like, you originally said...
No, there is. There's a guy my friend is friends with named Ryan Sewers, who he's in New York, and he's
pushing out this type of content?
Yes, because...
Like, hey, go to the trades?
Yes, he is. Well, I don't think he tells other people. He's just really marketing himself as a guy who goes out and does plumbing. And
we've got a goddamn rapper and a real estate broker sitting here jamming. We're talking about trade schools, electricians and shit.
Yeah.
I want to go back to, you said you're giving people advice of like, go to school.
Yeah.
And you said the trade school. You're not actually telling people to go to college, though, are you?
No, I don't think college. I don't know enough about this. I'm not going to say enough about this. But I almost want to tell my kids, don't go to college. Do something else. Figure out something else. Go into real estate. Go into one of these trades. Go do something else. But don't amass this massive amount of debt and go to school for a fucking communications degree or something like that. That's
the point. Like, if you're going to accumulate debt, then you definitely should not do it. Like, if college is important to you because your grandparents always like hoped and wished you would get a degree, then going back to what I said before, go work to somebody for free. If somebody came to us and was like, hey, I want to work for you for free, but my whole trade-off is like, I want to go to night school and I want to get my degree because it's important to my grandmother, I'd be like, dude, all day, I'll pay for your school, and you come in here from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and you work Monday through Friday, and I'll work with you and I'll pay your whole school off. That'll be your salary, right? But here's the problem. Most kids want to go to school. They want to take out the college debt so that they have the afternoons to go smoke a J and kill a couple beers. Like, that's the reality, dude.
Smoke a J.
You know what I mean?
What are you, 50?
Smoke a J bomb. What is it now?
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even try to say it because I'm too out of touch.
Get some CBD oil and rub it all over your face.
I love CBD oil. I take that shit. Listen, I was taking CBD oil that had like a nice flavor, like mint to it. Yeah. And I thought this was official because I bought it from a co-op. And I guess maybe it made me feel better. It chilled out my anxiety, which was really cool. I hear awesome stuff about CBD oil. So I've been using it and I like it. Yeah. But I ran out of it. So I had to go get more CBD oil. So I went to one of these vape places that has the official. Store.
Yeah, anywhere, right?
Well, yeah, but this guy had the official crazy shit that tastes like hemp.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I was fucking drinking straight from the fucking cannabis plant. Like this shit was like next level CBD oil.
But you're putting it in your mouth.
Yeah, I put it under my tongue.
It's just,
no, not at all.
Yeah.
No, it has no THC, it has no psychoactive properties.
I've heard this too. It relieves the anxiety, right?
Yeah, for sure. For me,
And
anyway.
anxiety medicine's a fucking racket.
Well, it's a racket, and it's just creepy to get into those benzos, like, you know.
They say that I heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast. He says, I don't know where he got this information, so I don't know if it's accurate.
Yeah.
A little disclaimer. He says every one of these mass shootings, the shooter has been on some type of antidepressant, like severe, like the strong shit. These pills, antidepressants, some type of anxiety, like strong medicine.
I believe that.
That stuff's. I just believe it's very addicting.
Yeah.
That stuff, and I
think it also separates you from
who you are.
Reality.
Yeah.
And reality. You know, it's like it's a creepy thing, man. And I think all these Western-based medicines and all these things, they want profit and they want to do certain things, and they don't give a fuck about people. People are collateral damage on their way.
Dude, that's a whole
billions.
This is a whole nother show of
Yeah.
like the mental space of people, of why they're not actually like going and doing all the bullshit that they're saying to you, like, Ap, I want to blow up, I want to do this, I want to do that. But when they're not like hitting you on a DM, like saying this type of stuff, they're like caught up in their head and they're not taking action. They're like just not getting out there, not getting around people that are on the right trajectory.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a huge influx too, back to this thing about the anxiety. Like you said, this is a different show, but bro, it's so crazy. I've grown up with anxiety all my life, and I feel like most people now suffer from some form of anxiety or panic attacks. I even made an Instagram page called Now Leaving Hell, which I haven't had time to keep up with, but to help people. And that's how crazy it was that I made this page, and I made a Facebook page, and I was doing posts. I was going live and talking to people who were depressed and they felt like they were alone in this. And it's just nuts how prevalent that is nowadays.
Well, like you've been tied to culture forever, basically, because of the music industry. So like when in the 90s, you were 20 years younger, obviously. Is it more of a problem today with the young people, like anxiety and mental like health and that type of thing?
So I've heard some people say, oh no, you just hear about it more now because of the internet. No, I knew a lot of people, and when I was going through panic disorder and I was going through anxiety back in the 90s, if I talked to 1,000 people because my net was wider, because I talked to more people, nobody knew what the fuck that was. Okay. Nowadays, if I talk to everybody, everybody's like, oh yeah, I have panic attacks, I have anxiety. For sure, it's way more prevalent now. It's more people being affected by it now than it was before, because I've been suffering from this shit since I was 3 or 4 years old. And when I discuss this stuff with people, with multitudes of people, because I would talk about it all the time, no one knew about it. You can almost look at the timeline, like if you had some type of graph, like a school graph, and you started down here in the 90s and you just shoot up to present day. No one knew about it. Then you get close to the top and it's like everybody fucking knows about it and everybody suffers from it at one point.
Yeah. What's the one thing that you found helped you the most to get removed from that state of where like you're feeling anxiety?
I could name a whole bunch of things, but exercise helped me personally.
That's what you always hear. Yep.
Yeah. Like running on the treadmill, not just running and you're like, oh, okay, I just did a little bit. Running till you're exhausted.
Yep.
Till you just want to go to sleep after you run on the treadmill. I used to go on the treadmill and just run till I just couldn't take it anymore. My lungs hurt, and because I just needed to get all that shit out. And that's one thing that helped me.
What do you think most people do?
I probably take benzos.
That, and then they go to sleep. I think they go to sleep.
Yeah, maybe they go to sleep. There's people who have a hard time going to sleep though. You know, with the panic stuff. People who stay up all night in their mind.
And go to sleep, like a metaphor of like they just get immobilized. They don't do anything.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're not proactive about it.
Yeah.
You know.
I think at the end of the day, the best way to combat it is action. So if that's action physical, like going to the gym, running, whatever, that's an action you can take. The other action you can take is like get your ass out every single day and get around the right people.
Well, you know,
because they're gonna pull you up every time.
Yeah, you know what? Getting away from people who are stagnant. I feel like you get anxiety and you get stress when you're stagnant in your life and you don't have something to be excited about. When I haven't been as excited about anything as I am about this real estate shit since I was young about hip hop. You know,
Yeah.
like in the 90s when I started getting excited about hip hop, I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be something. That's how I feel about the real estate shit. So when I was having anxiety recently, I went to real estate class. I was talking to you about some shit.
It was so interesting.
It subsided.
When I saw you in my DM on Instagram and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about real estate, you know, whatever it was.
People are probably wondering who the fuck you are. So this is how I found Byron.
Everybody's wondering who the fuck I am.
So this is how I met Byron. I decided that I wanted to do real estate by talking to a couple of my friends who were popping with the real estate shit. And I was like, I got to get in that world. So I talked to one of my homies, Dutch, out in California. And I was like, Dutch, what do I do to get into this? Do I just go to class and then I'm a real estate guy? He goes, no, dude. First things first, you got to find a mentor. And I said, all right, well, what, a mentor in my state? He goes, yes, you need to find a Connecticut mentor. I said, how do I find a Connecticut mentor? And he goes, hold on, I'm going to find one for you right now. And I hear him typing on his keyboard. I hear his and all that. And he goes, all right, I got your guy. And I said, who is this guy? He goes, Byron Lazine. He goes, he's one of the top real estate agents in your state. And what I'm looking at on his shit, he's doing marketing and he's doing his Instagram crazy. This is the guy you got to get with. I said, say no more, bye. And I hung up. I DM'd Byron and I said, yo, let's meet up, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. We met up and that was it.
I owe Dutch. I got to send him something.
Yeah, you got to meet Dutch, man. Dutch is a maniac. Yeah, if you're going out to LA, I should link you with Dutch, man.
This is an awesome connection he put together. I appreciate it, Dutch, if you're listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's making you the most interested about this industry? Like, what intrigues you by far the most?
I'll be honest, man. I could say some deep shit and it's not that at all. It's the fact that there's no limit to what you can do and there's no cap because real estate is so valuable. And you said to me one time, which is probably, there's nothing realer than real estate. Stocks will fluctuate. These things will go up and down. It's tumultuous. Sure, there was the real estate crash of 2008 and all that. But I'm saying real estate is fucking here. It's a tangible thing.
The point about the real estate crash of 2008, if you bought the right real estate in 2004, it didn't matter in 2008. If you bought the right real estate, what I didn't do, if you bought big apartment complexes in fantastic locations.
You bought early, right? When you were young?
Dude, I bought 19 to 21. I bought in terrible locations. Norwich, Connecticut, like Boswell. Like,
I wish for the people who
that aren't local.
Funny. Yeah.
If you're local, it's funny.
Yeah, if you're local, it's funny. But
I made every mistake in the book because I was 19 and I thought I knew what I was doing. I didn't do what you just said. I did not go out and get a mentor, right? I didn't get my game tight. But the point is, if you bought the right real estate in 2004, even though the real estate crash happened in 2008, it's real. People are still living there, renting, paying you an income every single month.
Yeah.
And that's real, dude. Like, so maybe your value, if you had a big multifamily property that was, say, worth $20 million and it got wiped out, the equity gets wiped out and it's worth $10 million. Mm-hmm. Okay? Big deal. The rental income is still coming in every month. And then you wait it out. Mm-hmm. And the building is worth, or the buildings are worth back to that 20. And today, like, multifamily real estate is worth way more than it was during that peak.
So you ride out the bullshit.
Multifamily real estate is at an all-time ridiculous high. They say there's still room to grow because when you look at Europe and what their multifamilies priced at, or Canada, for that, Canada's multifamily buildings are trading at a much higher clip than America.
Canada, we're coming, just so you know.
Yeah,
me and Byron will be out there.
I gotta keep working on my United States of America licenses.
Yeah.
But I'll get the Canadian license.
Building those up.
Maybe it's just one license you can sell all in Canada.
I don't think so,
No,
man.
definitely not.
For the provinces.
No, they break that shit up. But the point is real estate, like a stock. So Facebook got wiped out 20%. Last week. 20% of the stock value was wiped out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, last week.
That's such a hit.
Now, I'm bullish. That's the one stock I'm bullish on. I went out and bought some more Facebook, but I'm never going to meet Mark Zuckerberg. Well, maybe Mark, if you're happen to be listening, Mark. Dude, I'll definitely take a lunch with you, man. But I'm not going to be able to knock on Facebook's door and be like, yo, man, I'm an owner. Like, let me in, you know. Yeah. If you own real estate, you can go. You can check out the grass. You can take a dip in the pool.
Be like, I'm in this. I own some of this. This is either my shit completely or I belong. I'm partners on this.
You can sleep there. Other people can sleep there. You can charge money. People are going to pay you money monthly. On the stock game, you never touch it, you never feel it. It's like, okay, it's out there somewhere, or certainly like a 401k. Like your job says, hey, put some money into this 401k, dude, and you can use it when you're 70. They're taking your money and they're profiting off of it, and then you can tap into it when you're 65 or 70. That's ridiculous, dude.
That sucks too. Like, why are you taking all this money and just floating it away, and you're not doing anything with it in the present? Like Byron said, like, oh, what? So, hey, well, you can enjoy your life when you're 70. Fuck that.
When
dude.
you put money into, like, say, multifamily, I'll just keep going back to it because that's what I believe in. If you put it into multifamily, okay, you've taken that chunk of equity and you could have put it into the stock market and you put it into a house. Okay, same thing. That capital is gone. And you can argue, okay, you're going to get a dividend maybe out of the right stock, but you can't now sit there and control what that dividend is. That public traded companies and say, okay, we're going to give you this little sprinkle here and there, right?
Yeah.
But when you control the deal and you take rents from $850 a month and you jack them up to $1150 because you put the right palm trees or you put the right new roof on, you put a metal roof instead of cedar shakes, or something like that, and you increase the
that's an inside joke, by the way.
You increase the value of the property, you increase the rents, you're impacting directly what your monthly payout's going to be. And dividends, by the way, are paid quarterly, and you get monthly distributions when you buy multifamily real estate.
What do you think about you know, when I tell people, I'm like, yo, I'm going to get into real estate and I'm going to do this shit, and they're like, oh, that's cool. So you're just going to flip houses? I don't.
Well, dude, because everyone watches TV and they think that flipping houses. Talk to a house flipper. Like, you know, if you're thinking about real estate, talk to some flippers. One, you got to be to scale flipping. It's very difficult. Everyone watches a show and thinks, I'm gonna flip a house. I renovated a kitchen before. I know what cabinets are like. I'm gonna start flipping them. One, you better have your crews tight.
Yeah.
Because, okay, now going back to the electrician's not going to call you back. The plumber's not going to call you back because they don't know what your fucking name is. This is your first house you're flipping. So now what needs to take 60 days for you to, like, make a profit will take you 8 months or a year.
Because that's a lot of time. You got to calculate your time versus the profit you're going to
just ate up all your profits. So to scale flipping, you've got to usually have about 10 houses or more going at a time.
You got to have long money for that shit.
You better have some investors. Money. You better have some investors, right? So you're not putting all your money at stake, or you better be just sitting on some money. But then at the end of the day, it's not a high margin business. You got to move these quick.
Yeah.
And if you're getting in and out of the deal really quick, that means your margin is going to be a lot less, right? Unless you're just like stepping in shit and finding like the most fantastic deal of all time, which is going to be very difficult. So that's the cliche thing to say because people see it on TV. Oh, what are you going to start flipping? Dude. My thing, and what I've always said to you since the day we met, is like really digging deep in this industry and becoming a voice in the industry. You're gonna catch some slack out of the gates because you're like, dude, you're a fucking rapper.
Oh yeah,
but you've dealt with it your whole life.
I've dealt with this.
You're a rapper, but you're white.
Oh, you're a white rapper.
Yeah.
And then with the even when I joined Freemasonry shit, I got it from both sides. Rappers are like, oh, you're fucking Illuminati, you're doing this, and Freemasons are like, oh, you use curse words and do this. I've heard, like, my skin is so thick, it's stupid.
So that's gonna be no problem for you. You're gonna deal with it in the beginning, but if you become a voice in the real estate industry. Yeah. Now that's the game. So when people say, oh, what are you going to do, house flipping? I'd say, fuck you. I'm going to do the same thing I've always done. I'm going to get attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'm going to use that attention for what I know. And you'll figure out through experience, right? Because you're going to put some work, you're going to put some years into this.
Yep.
You're going to figure out through experience that, hey, I know putting together a fund and maybe open that up to the music industry or making it, niche like the music industry, or opening it up to more people, or maybe opening it up to all the kids that don't have an avenue to invest in, right? Something like that. Yep. We're going to go out and buy multifamily deals, or it's luxury property and connecting developers from LA to the East Coast and shit like that.
Yeah.
But flipping house after house after house is a job.
I think that people get wrapped up, like you said. I think that people get caught up and wrapped up into certain ideas, and they get married to those ideas. And it's the same thing with a local versus a global attitude. And I think that when I first started out with music, people were like, oh, that's cool. So what are you going to do? Play at places around here? You're going to play at the fucking Polish club? And I'm like, no, I'm going to go to LA. Oh, you have any plans? No, but I'm going to go out there and figure it out. And that's what the fuck I do. You know, that's what you have to do to kind
You're
of
getting your hands dirty.
Yeah, you have to go in. You got to pay your dues. You got to work hard. It's not easy. Any fucking thing that you get easy is bullshit.
So you said, I mean, the answer you gave was, okay, there's no limit on real estate. I'll agree with you there. There's no limit, and it can spiral out a bunch of different directions. You could be flipping. You could do commercial real estate. You could do multifamily. You could do res.
These
you could do
funds,
lux,
all these things.
You could do these funds. There's a whole. You could start getting into the design world. You could build out a product.
Yep.
Like there's so many different things you can do in real estate. But so I get it. There's also no limit in personal finance or selling people whole life insurance. So like what at the end of the day was like, I think I can like find a niche in real estate.
I think the networking with people and just as far as the personal people relationships, and really relating to people. And the other thing too that helped me was that my wife and I are looking for houses, and I know the experience in dealing with people with going to see houses, what I liked and what I didn't like, and I'm like, man, I could kill this. The people aren't talking to me the way I want to be talked to. People aren't giving me the information.
Before you started looking at houses with your wife, what was your perception of real estate agents and brokers? Just as you're a rapper, you're in the music industry, you're a dude out there.
Yep.
What was your perception?
Old school. Like I definitely thought, I didn't realize that there was guys like you and people who thought like me and my business partner the way we run our music industry. I didn't think that there was guys like that in the real estate industry. You know, I didn't know that there was things going on like the Tom Ferry stuff and all that. I viewed it as like car salesmen and the cheesy and no disrespect to anybody, but 60-year-old white women who are retired who are doing this for fun or whatever their motivation is. I'm sorry if that's an unfair stereotype. That was just what was in my mind when
it's the reason it's not unfair is the average age of real estate agents in this country is 58 to like 62.
Wow.
People get into the industry as a second career. So they might have been a nurse for 25 years. They might have been a teacher. They might have been a corrections. They might have been a whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're still young and they still want to work. And they're like, in Connecticut, to get your real estate license, it's only 60 hours.
Yeah.
So they might have said, wow.
Which is the hell that I'm going through now.
Yeah. Dude, it's 60 hours though.
Yeah,
it's brutal content, but it's 60. Damn, it's so short.
Yeah,
I'm of the belief it should be 600 hours.
That's interesting.
So get the license and be thankful.
Well,
it's
there
not
is continuing education in this things that you have to.
12 hours every 2 years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like if you want to cut hair in cosmetology license, 1,550 hours. If I fuck up your haircut, it's going to grow back. I have a 60-hour course to do real estate, and if I lose all your money on a deal, dude, that bank account's not growing back as fast as your hair, right?
You know what, though? I think that if it was increased from what I see from these classes, I just feel like the information
there's no
should be
real
different.
life shit.
Yeah, there's no real life shit, and it's like I'm going in there and I got to remember how many square feet are in an acre. I got to remember the definition of avulsion.
And quite honestly, I know some good teachers that do P&P because they love it, principles and practices, which is the real estate course. But at the end of the day, a far majority of the people teaching these classes are doing it just because they want to avoid talking to clients because they're burnt out on that part of the business.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
So okay, I'll do this at night instead of actually having to deal with clients and pick up some bucks. I'm just burnt out on it.
Yeah.
So now you're really going to class and they're just reading you the book because they're going through the motions anyways because they just want to get through with it and get that cash.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think the school needs to be much longer, and I think that there needs to be. I think they need to bring in guest teachers that are in the game. And then literally allow them to make connections with the people in the class. Meaning, like, if you bring me in and say, "Hey, we want you to do maybe 8 hours of this course," and bring in some real life shit. Okay, I don't need any money. My trade off is let me just meet everybody. Let me spend a half hour jamming with these guys and tell them some like real shit about the industry. Yeah. Because then that's going to give them, if it's local, it's going to give me the opportunity to recruit a couple of the gems if they like me and if I, type of thing, if it's a fit. But they're not doing that.
I mean, I think that's the same across the board with all schooling and teaching. I feel like a lot of the logic goes out the window and they just go through the motions,
Yeah.
And getting money, taking the money and going through the motions, and then all the logical shit gets
When are you done? When are you done with the class?
Like September 15th is my last day.
Dude, I'm so looking forward over the next 18 months to see what happens. Like, people are like, oh, this dude got his license.
Yeah. I'm pumped too because a lot of people thought that,
It's going to be so much shit for 18 months.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, a lot of people have misconceptions already. They're like, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing real estate. And they're like, oh, okay, so you're going to be going out selling raised ranches? I'm like, nah, that's not what I'm going to be doing. Like, that's not the same thing. That's cool if somebody else does that.
Yeah.
But that's not where Ap's going. So, and there's going to be a lot of shit. Like you said, there's going to be a lot of shit from people who see me, from my hip-hop fans who are like, oh, so what? He's just going to do this now? It's actually going to be better for my fans because I'm going to have the freedom to do the type of music I want to do at any point.
Dude, I actually think in your profile picture, like everyone's got these like, I mean, my picture on Zillow, I have a tie and I never wear a tie, right? Like, I think yours, you should just be like straight up wearing your hat, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I've thought about this. I've put a lot of thought into this about my business card, and I've thought about I'm not gonna fucking throw on a tie and be one in the thing. I might even have fucking sunglasses on. I might stunt really hard on them. Because you remember you told me about
the dude in Minnesota
with the fucking
He's got the horns on, dude, and he's got billboards with him with the horns. Like dude, he's a beast. He's one of the top brokers in the country. This guy. I'm
gonna put my hand like this. Connecticut.
Yeah, you can do that. Show some tats. Why not, dude?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think, and we've had this conversation, but I think that you being who you are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, that's kind of like what we've sat here and talked about, like being who you are.
The thing that I didn't
want
to do
from it.
The thing I did not want to do, and I don't want to do, is I don't want to sit here and rap at night and talk to my fans on live, and then the next morning I'm waking up going, hey, how's it going? I'm Chad Bromley, and I'd love to show you this beautiful house, and blah, 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 blah. That's not for me. I've never fucking done that.
Well, living two lives would be weird.
Super, and it would be stressful, and it would be weird, and it would feel corny. It would feel whack.
Like, dude, I'm a guy that crushed it in the music, that's crushing it currently in the music industry, that is also a thought leader in the real estate space, that's putting together big deals, that's connecting people across the country in real estate, whether that's in a fund, whether that's in a project, whether that's in a development, while I'm also doing this in music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Dude,
gonna
100%.
That's the realm right there.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I'm excited. So we'll see. And you guys will see on the journey as I go along here too,
Yeah, I mean, stay with this. If you listen to this podcast, check out. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but we're gonna start really making this like a thing and having like a format around it. This was a loose kind of conversation.
Yep.
Definitely introducing Apathy to my small little world and
introducing Byron to mine
to your big little world, right? And so I think it's gonna be cool. I think we're gonna do some cool shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's
Awesome,
going to be
brother.
really dope. And people are going to learn a lot of gems along the way, so you definitely want to stay tuned if you give a shit about that at all. If not, cool.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, bro.
Awesome. More to come.
Word up.